Well, here we are, almost back to the book where it started. I actually get to finish the book where I started. I didn't finish it the first time. I only read the first three chapters the first time. So now I get to read the first three chapters over again and know who the people are and understand who the people are and know and be familiar so that when we get the family catch up, I like the family catch up. Because the first time I didn't like the family catch up because I didn't know who these people were. You don't start a series in book 23. You just don't do it that way. So, book 22, The Net of Steel. It's a revenge book. We're almost back to the final book. Almost. Hey, where you going, Miss Smokey? Smoke! So, we have some revenge. First, we have to deal with some sad news. If you don't know, this is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-O-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no D music, none of that fancy smancy stuff going on here. And, she likes the brush. We start the book off with from sad news. If you know that Ursula is our heroine, and Dale and Blakely are her servants, and then Harry, of course, is her son, and she has Meg, a daughter, and then she has some neighbors, Christopher, so they're all her immediate circle, and she just finished up a mystery at one of her tenants' house. Well, that wasn't a good thing to do. She just tossed her brush off the chair. So, let's get your brush back. So she just finished this. It's been a while. It's been like a year or so in between books. And she had been visiting one of her tenants. She had gone there for a wedding, and the wedding ended up not happening. Well, actually, it did happen. The mother had to beat her daughter to make her wed the guy. She starved her for 4 days on bread and water, and then she beat her into submission so she'd marry this guy. And she wanted her daughter to marry this guy. It was revealed later that the guy was blackmailing the mother. He was threatening to put her in prison for murder. So that's why even though the mother was more closer in age to this gentleman, he wanted children. So he wanted her daughter. So she had to beat her. What parent does that? I I had so many issues with that. So please check out that review. But in the end, it was proved that not only had the mother committed murder, but that her sons were pirates. And the mother was hanged for her crimes, and the sons were convicted for their crimes, but the sons had gotten away. And in this book, we're out for revenge. And we're going to start revenge with Ursula's outer circle. Just, acquaintances. And then we're going to move in closer to family members. And then we're going to move in closer to household. And then we're going to move into Ursula. It's going to be a gradual thing. And so we start the book off first with sadness. Oops. Come back here. She has settled in. So anyways, so we start the book off with the death of Ursula's uncle and the death of Walsingham, who was one of the people that was sending Ursula on all these missions. So we start the book off with 2 family members' death. Then we have an unexpected 3rd family member's death that comes out of nowhere. And it turns Ursula reeling, and as a result, Ursula inherits her aunt and uncle's property. The son doesn't want the property and he wants her to have it. So now she has like the 4th or 5th houses now. In the meantime, Harry is in love and he's set to be married. So he hurries up he's been to all these funerals, and his mother has to stay to handle some estate matters at the aunt's house, and he wants to go home because he has a fiance. What is she doing? He has a fiance at home, and he wants to get back to her. He's in love. So he gets home, and Ursula spends a couple more weeks at the aunt and uncle house, straightening out the estate, blah, 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 doing all that stuff. When she gets home, her son informs her that his fiance is deceased. She had a horsing accident, and her parents refused to do an inquest or investigation of any sort of any kind. So the girl is just buried, and they want nothing to do with Ursula or their son or her son Harry. And then some other things start happening. Then they get a visitor from France who plays it. I'm warning you, I'm giving you this information. This is what's going to happen. And he's trusted until he becomes a massive traitor. And he's still out there too. So we may have to, I don't know what's going to happen in this book. Like I said, I never did finish it. So I'm anxious to get to it. So he comes and he says to Ursula, this is what the plan is. These are the boys from the last book are out for revenge, and they're doing it this way, and this is the plan. And he tells her all this, and she believes it, and she starts out. And then she's warning all these different family members. She's going to all these different family members' houses, and she tells all these family members to run, and they run, and one gets sick, one gets kidnapped and repeatedly raped, and that is not a good thing that happens. That's a whole trial right there. They come to a good solution. The husband fights it at first, but then he finally, the father, he finally gives in. So we'll have to check on that in future books. I don't know if we will or not, but Fiona is great for leaving open ends and taking 2, 3, 4 books to close that book again. You know, she'll open this and she'll start a thread, and she drives me crazy with the fact that she doesn't finish it in the next book. We gotta wait 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 books down the road. But the series has to be coming to end because we're in, what year is this? 1590. The Queen has only got a couple more years. I think she's got 16. I think she dies in 06. I'm not sure. 03. So we'll have to check on that. But and Ursula's getting up there in age too. Maybe Harry will take over for the next person. But one of Harry's conditions for his, well, that's kind of spoiling it, for his future marriage is that he doesn't undertake any of that stuff. So it's just that they go after the family members. The whole thing is very well planned. The traitor in their midst gets revealed. Ursula's Gladys. We haven't seen Gladys in a few books. She's been an exterior character on the fringes. Gladys was a lady she rescued from, she had been accused of witchcraft way back early in the series. She was a more prominent person in the books, and now she's on the fringes. I'm expecting her to pass soon. She hasn't. She's still alive at the end of this book. At least I think she is. But she's getting up there in age, and so I'm worried about her. But she goes through a serious ordeal in the book. And Ben, the child that Ursula rescued, of last book of the book, no, the book before that. The father that was going to kill his son for ritual reasons, he got taken up with the mob mentality, and he just went with it. Can't imagine a father trying to kill his son to please an imaginary. Don't even go there. So Ben steps up. He's been working. He might be the new steward of Hawkswood. We'll see what happens. He's still in training, and Harry's situation is semi-concluded at the end of the book. I won't tell you what happens there. But these two bad guy brothers do some serious damage before they're finished. And it was a quick read. It only took a couple hours. Now that I'm getting used to everybody, I'm not making my cast list as I used to. We have a brief appearance by the Queen, a little bit, and Cecil makes a brief appearance, but he's alleged to be very ill, so he should be getting out of here soon. I think he dies in 96. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So, we'll see what happens. We gotta plan life after Ursula. We gotta wait till next year for the book. I know there's one more. I don't know if there's anything after that, but I know there's at least one more out there. So, we gotta get on to this one. Our final book in the series. And then we've got to get back to Catherine Coulter and Alex, James Patterson's Alex Cross. We gotta finish those two series up too. And then we gotta find something else. And I'm trying to compile new books for the next series. And it's there. I had them about 15 years ago. I made a point of collecting 30 of them, got pissed off, donated them all, and now I'm trying to get them back, and it's going to take a long time to get these books back. There's over 60 in the series at this point. Back when I did it, I think there was only 40, and I had like 30 before I gave up. But we're going to give that series another try too. And we've got some other surprises coming down the pike soon. So I hope you'll stay tuned and hit the like and subscribe. Let people know I exist. I'm much appreciative. Thank you.